Grace to you and peace from the one who was, who is, and who is to come. Amen. I don't know about you, but there's been something niggling in the back of my mind ever since I first heard this story from Matthew's Gospel. The wise and the foolish bridesmaids always had something little, kind of off about it. It's a typical binary that Matthew's Jesus likes to indulge in. 5 wise and 5 foolish bridesmaids, and nothing in between. Either you were right or you were wrong. Either you were in or you were out. That's Matthew's Jesus, at least most of the time. So there's 5 bridesmaids who had enough oil for their lamps and 5 bridesmaids that didn't. 5 bridesmaids came prepared, 5 bridesmaids carried light. But then the bridegroom was delayed. In other words, he was late, making everyone wait for him. I don't know why he was late. Jesus doesn't say, and apparently it doesn't matter. But I think it does. Why did the bridegroom keep everyone waiting? And waiting so long that people fell asleep waiting for him. To me, that sounds, rude. And here's the part that's been scratching away the back of my brain for all these years. These foolish bridesmaids wouldn't have had a problem if the bridegroom showed up on time. It was because the bridegroom was late that made the bridesmaids go looking for oil for their lamps. Maybe they did the calculation and figured that they didn't need to bring any extraneous items. Maybe they knew when these sorts of events finished, and so they knew when they would be home. It was the bridegroom that caused the problem, not the foolish bridesmaids. The foolish were then told, hey, go buy some oil. But when they did, they found that the door was locked when they got back, and they weren't allowed back in when they returned. So not only did the bridegroom cause the problem by being unacceptably late, he made the problem worse when the foolish bridesmaids tried to fix the problem that he created. And when the other so-called wise bridesmaids stepped in, the bridegroom shoos them away, saying they should pay more attention too. And by the way, I have no idea who you are, so go away. I'm not sure I like this bridegroom. He doesn't sound like much of a host. He's rude and he's kind of mean. This parable is part of a series that Jesus is preaching in the temple. And he's very aware of where he is and to whom he's preaching. One of the themes that runs through these parables in Matthew 24 and 25 is Jesus encouraging people to stay awake. And then he tells these crazy, outrageous stories to make his point. And many of the parables sound like the end of time, where there will be judgment, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The guilty will be punished harshly for what they have done or haven't done. These parables sound like a warning to sinners who might end up on the wrong side of salvation. And you better start loading up on the aloe vera because I know where you are going. But lately, I've been reading these stories differently. Instead of apocalyptic stories of judgment, I'm reading these stories as an invitation to see the world differently. This story, for example, I think, asks us to keep our eyes open to what's really going on in the world, not what we are being told to see, not what we are being told is going on. Do you know the time? Can you see with clarity what is happening in the moment that you're in? Are you awake to what the world is really like? Or is your lamp going out and you miss the wedding banquet that you've been invited to? Jesus says to keep your lamps filled and ready to go. Keep your lamps filled with the oil of prayer. Keep your lamps burning with the oil of gratitude. And keep your lamps burning with the oil of possibility. Keep your lamps burning so you can see the bridegroom when he arrives. The bridegroom is Jesus and everything that he represents. The bridegroom is hope. The bridegroom is love. The bridegroom is compassion. The bridegroom is peace. The bridegroom is forgiveness. The bridegroom is the power and possibility of a new and better life for you and everyone you know, if only you can see it. So Jesus says to keep awake. Keep your lamps burning so that you can still see when the night of fear and doubt approaches. Because you can see the world through the eyes of fear. Or we can see the world through the eyes of hope and possibility. We can see the world through self-preservation. Or we can see the world through self-giving. We can see the world through eyes of trust. Or we can see the world through the eyes of timidity, born from angst. Because we can act in this world with bold faith, or we can shrink back into the unknown where it is more comfortable because that's where everyone else is. Because we certainly live in an unknown and uncertain future. This COVID craziness has certainly asked us uncomfortable questions about what the post-COVID world will look like and what our part will be in this unknown emerging society. But the best thing about an unknown future is that with God's wisdom and God's discernment, we can create it. There seems to be an air of resignation in this world that the future is something that will happen to us rather than something that we can and will create. Because I think this is a time for bold reinvention, for tremendous innovation, and for creative risk-taking. This is a time to ask ourselves, what do we really want the world to be? What do we really want our church to be? What do I really want my life to look like? Is this what I really want? Did I really create this life, or did I just fall into it? Is there something else that I should be doing or being? And to answer those questions, you need to be awake. We need to be awake. You need to keep your lamps burning so that you can see the possibilities that pass you by every day. So stay awake. Know your time and know your place. Keep your lamps burning, for you never know the day nor the hour when a new and better world will arrive. And may this be so among us. Amen.